Last time, we ended off with a text from Amasawa telling us to check out some new evidence of the professor around the back of the school. After sitting in the robotics club all day, Yagami does need some fresh air. I know it smells crazy in there. Turns out it's a cool bit of graffiti with two kids standing in front of it slack-jawed. This artwork was done by the ijincho hounds. The kids inform us like we couldn't see that for ourselves. We leave to go get some real answers from Amasawa, but before we do, we have to listen to Kento's problems. Itokura walks in, and upon seeing Kento, she immediately leaves.
Ah.
Oh. Ah. Oh.
It's a pleasure.
We learn that she has beef with Kento because he was involved in the festival organizing committee, the same reason everyone else has had beef with Itokura. Well, it's our job to catch up to her, and so we stop to ask these girls if they saw where she went.
Hey.
The girls tell us that Itokura went up to the roof after the argument, I guess. The way they were talking about her, I was holding my breath hoping they didn't make a joke about her jumping off the roof. Doesn't faze Yagami though, and we run up the stairs. We find Itokura safely reading a book, and we sit down to talk. She says she doesn't want to go back to the MRC if Kento's going to be there, and Yagami reminds her about her scholarship. Tactfully, she tells us to take care of it. Instead of pushing her off the roof,
doing what I want. I used to battle on the roof. The loser had to jump.
we distract her by suggesting she move to the robotics club for a while. We appeal to her genius and whatever warmth lies in her cold heart and tell her about Sakura, the freshman programmer struggling with the bug that causes our robot to become immobile. She thinks for a moment and tells us she has history with the quiet guy that creates the designs. Like, who doesn't she have history with? Anyway, this convinces her to go to the club and return to the MRC whenever she's ready.
What?
Look here.
Huh? Hmm?
What?
Yes! Yay!
Itokura gets welcomed with open arms, and she melts at the first bit of flattery about her beautiful code. It's time for another scrimmage. Before we leave, let's stop back at the MRC. Never got to ask Amasawa about the ijincho hounds. Conveniently, when we get back, the former advisor to the MRC has arrived. Her name is Iemori. Apparently, she knows all about the ijincho hounds, and together with Amasawa gives us a lore dump on them and the troubled student responsible for the act of vandalism. Anyway, the robotics club has waited long enough. Let's head to the scrimmage. We make quick work of the competition. The robot doesn't fail this time, and we celebrate that back at the RCR, since winning is just what we do these days, with or without the technical difficulties. Sensing our pieces falling into place, Yagami invites Sakura out for tea with him and Itokura. She scolds us, thinking that we intend to interrogate poor Sakura about the professor and the robotics club's nefarious activities. Yagami tells her to shut up because he's standing right in front of us, and we all agree to meet in the cafeteria. When we arrive, Itokura is back to being her grumpy self.
Itokura-senpai! Yes!
I can't blame her though. I imagine teaching Sakura is like training a puppy. We channel his excitement and desire to impress Itokura into making him spill the tea on the robotics club. Despite him telling us everything he knows, we only learn two things. Takamori, the builder, was meant to be the club president until Okitagawa, gets handed the role only weeks after transferring to Seiryo High. The nature of the beef between Kuramazaki and Itokura stems from his willingness to let others tell him how to walk and talk. Sakura tries to stand up for his friend, but it's pointless. Yagami decides it's best to end the conversation and dismisses Sakura. He asks if Itokura has decided to help investigate the professor to no avail. Itokura looks even more depressed than before. She looks like she could use a cigarette and some fresh air. Unlike her though, Yagami can actually do this. And so for the first time, we actually leave Serio high. Running around to find a safe place to smoke, Yagami notices a familiar piece of graffiti in the distance. We confirm that it is indeed artwork done by the Ijincho hounds, which reminds us, we better head over to Hamakita Park. But not before we smoke. As Yagami inhales the sweet taste of 7-Star tobacco, he reflects on his conversation with Iemori. She gave us an ID on the guy who did the graffiti, Shinosuke Shikishima, 3rd year at Serio, and a member of the skate group, the Ijincho Hounds. Apparently he's mid. Yagami pulls out the picture of him spraying the graffiti of the professor she gave him, the professor sitting on the Blue King's throne. It looks like we're headed right into the middle of a turf war. Guess we'll have another smoke. And that's where we'll leave it. Thank you for watching. Like the video and subscribe for more school stories, and I'll see you next week.
That's why I'm up here just doing what I want. I used to battle on the roof. The loser had to jump.